Hello, it's Celia Musonenzengele here again. If you're coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, welcome. And if you're coming back again, thank you so much for your data, airtime, and your faith in me as well. Alright, in this video, I'd like us to discuss about the signs to look out for that can indicate that your child may be sexually molested. Sexual molestation is a name that we usually use for the rape that is continuous, particularly in children. We call it sexual molestation. So it's actually rape, but then it would happen continuously, and usually it happens between people that know each other, like if a neighbor does knowing the child. So in other words, in short, you can say it's in case where the perpetrator is known to the victim and it's not just happening once, it's happening repeatedly. Fine. Things that can tell you that something is wrong as a parent, because we really do want to know how to look out for, what signs should we look out for, because we live in a world that is crazily dangerous in terms of our children's safety, particularly in terms of rape, right? One of the things that is a telltale sign that you need to look out for is the STI in the child. So if the child is going to present symptoms that when you take the child and you take to the hospital or you take to the clinic or to the doctor, then you'll be told that the child has got an STI. That is that's clear that a child cannot have an STI unless they are sexually molested. So that one is like safe. You definitely know that something is wrong here. You also need to look out for smell or odor. Remember that it's not even easy to detect if your child has been violated, because particularly when your child is violated by the person that is close to them or that is known to them, that person would be knowing you actually as well, and usually they would scare the child out of telling anyone, promising the child that they would kill someone if they spoke up, or they would kill them if they speak up, or they would just say anything just to scare them out of telling anyone. They would even play out of their intelligence and tell them, if you told anyone, no one is gonna believe you, because people like me, they know that I am honest. They won't believe you. So the child believes that, okay, if I tell anyone, no one is gonna believe me. So the child is gonna hide this very well, because some of these people can even say to the child, if you're gonna tell anyone, I'm gonna say it was you started this. So the children may be feeling guilty, feeling like they are part of this, so they have to hide this very well to self-preserve. They think that, you know what, if it is to be known that I was partaking in such a thing, then I'm gonna be in trouble as well. So the child would decide that, let me not tell anyone. So they would try and behave as normally as possible. But we need to look out, because as much as they may try to be as normal as possible and not tell anyone, there are signs that would come naturally with the status that they are in. And some of the things that we can tell is a smell. If you feel like your child, there's an odor or a smell that you don't understand that's coming from their private part, then that means something is wrong, and then you've got to have it checked out. You also have to look out for blood on their underwear, blood on them, blood on their underwear, blood on their clothes, and even blood on the sheets that they sleep in. So please be on the lookout for such all the time. And another thing is, if you see that the child are mimicking sex actions, they may be doing it to other children, or doing it when they are alone, to a point of maybe masturbating. All these are signs that the child knows this from somewhere, and it's highly likely it was done to them. Not wanting to be alone with a certain individual. Don't force a child. If the child says, I am not comfortable with staying with that person, be worried. Why? And don't force issues. Don't say, hey, you stay there. What do you think? This person, don't force issues. Instead, be on the lookout. Try and find out why is the child not wanting to stay with that person. If that person is known to you and maybe trustworthy to you, don't ever think that that person is trustworthy to the child. And thumb sucking. There are certain behaviors when a child is, I forgot what they are called, but it's like they are called reverting symptoms or something like that. Like the child is going back, instead of making progress in life, they are going back towards the things that they would be doing as children. Like out of the blue, instead of a child growing up, the child starts sucking the thumb from nowhere. And this child was not thumb sucking as a baby, and when they are now grown, they start thumb sucking. You should be worried. Why is my child now thumb sucking, whereas they were not thumb sucking before? And bedwetting is one of the screaming symptoms. If you see your child is bedwetting, and your child, you know very well, or they were not bedwetting before, you should be worried. Why is my child bedwetting now after so many years of being dry? So that is a telltale signs that the child is stressed, and it's highly likely that the child has been stressed by keeping a secret of this, or the child may be damaged to a point where they can't even hold the urine. They now have what we call incontinence. And the bedwetting may go with incontinence during the day, because bedwetting, we mean when the child is asleep, then they wet the bed. But it can also, if it's severe, it can also go to a point where a child, even during the day, they just wet themselves. They can't hold it. They can't hold the urine in. And then withdrawn. Your child may be so withdrawn. When other children play, they don't want to play. When other children participate in anything, your child seems to be withdrawn. Little by little, don't be excited that, oh, my child was naughty, she's getting better now, she's getting better now, he's getting better now. No, go and look out. What is the reason your child is now changing behavior and being withdrawn from the things they are used to? They no longer talk as much, they no longer want to play as much, they lost interest in the things they are used to. Don't be happy and say, yeah, my child is getting better, is getting well behaved. Go check out exactly. Start by talking to the child. Why are you like this? Try and find out and dig very deep. And one other thing, this can also go with the performance at school. The academic performance of a child may be affected to a point where it's just dropping from the child that you know. The child does not understand anymore. You don't understand what's happening. Be on the lookout for such. eating habits. Your child may start developing some changing habits of eating. If they did not like food before, then you just overeat, and if they liked food before, they may just lose interest in eating. So such things should not be taken lightly. They can be telltale signs that your child is being sexually molested. And stomach aches and headaches. Your child can be complaining a lot about stomach aches all the time and headaches. Children, when they are stressed about something, they usually present stomach symptoms, stomach aches and headaches. So please, if your child presents these, be on the lookout all the time. So unfortunately, if you're a parent in this time and age, you are no longer allowed to be relaxed. No parent should be relaxed when they have children. We live in a world that is very bad, and we're not scaring anyone. We're not creating a hype out of everything, but anything that does not exist does exist. Performance at school, we already spoke about, or nightmares. Your child can also have nightmares and have excessive fear of being alone. Even during the day, the child may be like, I don't want to be alone, I don't want to be alone. They would rather be with someone, they would rather be somewhere instead of being alone. And on the same thing, also be on the lookout for the houses that the child tries and avoid to visit. If a child is not comfortable at whatever place, can even be your own place. If your child does not like to be at a certain place and they would rather be at different places instead of that place, please make sure you make a follow-up. Why is the child not comfortable? Even at their home, that could be telling you something. And aggression, mood and personality. Aggression, your child can be so aggressive to a point where you're getting complaints all the time. The child's fighting with their siblings, the child is fighting with the friends, the child is fighting with the other children, whether it's at school or at crash or whatever place. Your child may be bottled up with anger and frustration of not knowing how to deal with this, and presents it by aggression and showing aggression even to you. They may be so angry with you and show aggression towards you because somehow they cannot tell you what's happening to them, and they feel like you owe it to them to be seeing that there's something that is wrong without even them telling you, and they may be blaming you somehow, that how can you not see that I'm suffering? And they may show aggression because they feel like you owe it to them to be alert and see that something is wrong, because they can't tell you because of whatever reason, being it a threat, being it whatever. So they may be afraid to tell you anything, and now you absolutely have to make sure that you check up on the aggression, the mood changes. They may have mood changes that go up and down, and personality changes that just go like that, and then you never know what is it that this child likes. You end up not knowing your own child. So these are not only the symptoms, there can be more symptoms, but these are just the symptoms that I prepared for today. Maybe one day we'll go back to this topic again, and I'll come back with extra symptoms. And also, you as a parent, please go and Google some more of other symptoms, because there's a lot of symptoms that can tell you that something is wrong with my child. As parents, like I said before, I'm gonna repeat this again. we are no longer at liberty to relax if we have brought kids to this world. Unfortunately, the world we live in, it's a cruel one. It's showing us flames. We absolutely have to always hold a bucket of water. How can you hold a bucket of water? By preparing yourself in advance. Unfortunately, we have to, we don't know when we may need to use the bucket of water on the flames that will be burning. So it's okay to equip ourselves with knowledge that represents the bucket of water. Let's equip ourselves. Let's Google. Let's read books. Let's just be on the lookout all the time. And one other thing that I want us to talk about as the last thing is, make sure you make time for your children to talk to them. Talk to them all the time, and that can at least create a safe space for you and them to communicate, and maybe that can help them to trust you enough to tell you about whatever is bothering them, including sexual molestation if it ever happens to them. But do not rely on, my child trusts me, we talk about everything. Yeah, she has never told me about anything. She has never told me about that. Yes, be also on the lookout for other things, because we do know that these people are biggest manipulators. The perpetrators are the biggest manipulators. We don't know how they may manipulate our children. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, share, like, set the notification bell, and leave a comment. Suggest some of other ways that you think we need to be on the lookout for our children, for the safety of our children. Thank you so much. Goodbye. I love you.